Welcome to the Pro Football Podcast with your host, Alec Pecano. Um, there we go. Sorry about that. The video went out for a second. We are back. Today's video is on my game picks for the NFL. I apologize for the longer intro. We are going to get into it. I'm going to split it up. We're going to do upset picks, and then I'm going to talk about something else. Then we'll do my locks of the week, and I'll cover a different topic. And then we will get into game picks, and we'll split it up into the primetime games and the afternoon games. But let's get started with my upset picks. And we're going to start with the Bengals. I have the Bengals +6 to upset the Ravens tonight on Thursday Night Football. And I like this upset for one reason. I think the Bengals could pull off this upset, even without T. Higgins. The Ravens, their defense, they did not go out and make a move for a pass rusher at the deadline, which means Joe Burrow is going to have all the time in the world to throw. And to me, that means that the Bengals will pull off the upset here and win. My next upset is the Texans +3.5 to upset the Lions. The Lions did go out and make a trade for a pass rusher, but I don't think that's going to really help them. I think the Texans will upset the Lions. And then my last upset of the week is the Cardinals +1 to upset the Jets. The Jets did get a big win last week, but I don't think they can continue to win. I think that the Jets are going to get upset by the Cardinals. And so now we're going to cover something I like to call I'm going to talk a little bit about it's something I've been seeing a lot more, and that is people talking about Marvin Harrison and whether he's frustrated with targets or he's whether he looks like he doesn't want to be in Arizona. So Marvin Harrison's a rookie, and you got to understand with rookies that it takes time. I know we're 10 weeks into the season, and it looks like Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't want to be in Arizona. He has no choice. He still has 3 more years left, including a 5th-year option on his contract. And I think that the Cardinals, they might be able to move on from Kyler Murray down the road, but they're going to have to make it work with Kyler and Marvin Harrison Jr. And I think they can. I think they just need a better offensive coordinator that knows the ins and outs of an offense. And that's what I'm going to say that now. We get to my locks of the week for the NFL. My first one is the Broncos versus the Chiefs. And I have the Broncos winning, covering the spread 34-24. And I feel like we saw how vulnerable the Chiefs were last week. And if that false start call was made in overtime, I don't think the Chiefs get a touchdown there. I think that's a field goal. And the Buccaneers go down and have a chance to win the game in overtime. So I think the Chiefs, I'm not going to say they're on upset alert, but this is my lock of the week. one of my three. I have two more. My second lock of the week is the Vikings 35-21 over the Jaguars. And I think the Vikings are going to win again. And we are having some mic issues here. Hold up. We're going to switch the audios out. Okay, so now I think the Vikings are going to win this game. I think it's going to be by that score. And then we've got the Eagles. I've got the Eagles 41, the Cowboys 21 as my third lock of the week. The Cowboys made a pitiful trade that I will talk about here in a minute that I don't know how it's going to reshape their team, but I think the Eagles end up taking this game by that score maybe, or maybe more. And like I said a second ago, I don't know what Jerry Jones was doing. You could have gone out and got Cooper Kupp. You could have gone out and got a big name receiver to come to Dallas. Instead, you go out and you trade a fifth and sixth round pick for Jonathan Mingo. Explain to me how that makes sense. It doesn't make sense. That's the exact thing. It doesn't make any sense at all to me as to why you go out and make that trade. It doesn't. It makes zero sense. And I don't get it. Mike McCarthy might get fired at the end of the year. Be wary of that. Mike McCarthy might get the boot. But now we get to my game picks, and we're going to start with the primetime games. We've got the Giants versus the Panthers. And this is a Sunday morning game in Germany. 9:30 in the morning. Make sure you have your fantasy lineup set. I think the Giants beat Carolina. I think the Giants here, they have, I'm not going to say more to play for, but they have a lot more, I'm going to say, energy than the Panthers. I would rather take a chance on the Giants here to win this game than I would take on the Panthers to win this game, because Bryce Young's a quarterback, and I think the Giants defense is going to feast on Bryce Young. Next, we got the Ravens and Bengals Thursday Night Football tonight. And then my pick, of course, as you saw in upsets, was the Bengals. So I am taking the Bengals here to upset the Ravens and pick up another win. It ain't going to be, I'm going to say this, I'm going to watch as much of it tonight as I can. I think it's going to be one heck of a game. It's two AFC North rivals that don't like each other at all. And I think there's going to be scoring galore because both defenses struggle with the pass. So expect a high-scoring game. Oh, and our record last week was 11-10, which brings our season record to 111-90. I meant to say that at the beginning of the stream. But we have two more. Sunday Night Football, we have the Lions and the Texans. I am going to take the Lions. I'm going to take the Texans here to beat the Lions. But I think this is going to be a close game. But I do think the Lions. I do think the Texans win. And then Monday Night Football, we've got the Dolphins and the Rams. Normally, I'd take the Dolphins, but I like how the Rams have been playing of late. Can Puka Nacua not get thrown out of the disqualified for throwing a punch like he did the last game? Let's see. Over under a half a quarter until he gets thrown out for throwing a punch. I'm taking the over. But I'm also taking the Rams here to win. Now we get to the Sunday games. So we start with the early window. Early window, we have the Bears and the Patriots. I honestly think this is going to be a good game. I don't know how much of a good game it's going to be, but I think the Bears are going to win this football game by a couple touchdowns, but I think both quarterbacks show up. Then we got the Bills and the Colts. I'm taking Buffalo to win this game. We got Minnesota and Jacksonville. Give me the Vikings. As you heard, I have them in my locks of the week. Give me the Vikings to beat the Jags. Broncos and Chiefs. This should be in a late window. I don't understand why it's an early window game, but I am taking, as you saw in my locks of the week, I think this is where the Chiefs lose their first game. Give me Denver over the Chiefs. Falcons and Saints. This shouldn't be a game at all. I think the Falcons are going to destroy the Saints. We got the Buccaneers and the 49ers. And you're going to be shocked at my pick. I'm taking the Buccaneers here to upset the 49ers. And then we've got the Steelers and the Commanders. Give me the Steelers to beat the Commanders. Then we've got the late window games. Titans, Chargers. Give me the Chargers. Jets, Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals to upset the Jets. And Eagles and Cowboys. I'm taking the Eagles. And that's going to wrap up today's video. I will see everyone over on my TikTok later today. Have a lovely rest of your Thursday.